Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Luxury Campers. This is a Zhongzheng camper on a Sinotruk HOWO, a proper heavy truck, 240 horsepower under that cab. And yet it wears a blue plate so an ordinary car license covers it. Now look what they fitted inside. A bathroom you can shower in, a washing machine, a full household fridge, nearly 2 kilowatts of solar, a bed that comes out of the ceiling, and room for 4 to sleep. Step in and the surprise is how ordinary it feels. A beige reclining seat, a wooden cabinet beside it, more lockers overhead, then the galley with a real sink and a countertop you can stand at. And behind that door, the thing that normally gets cut from a truck built to save space, a separate proper bathroom. It is a wet bath, toilet, basin, and shower sharing one room, the way they do on most Chinese campers. What is not usual is the ceiling. There is a heater and an exhaust fan up there, so the room dries out instead of staying damp for 2 days. That matters more than any fixture in here. The overhead lockers ride on gas struts, so they stay open while your hands are busy. There is a window over the basin which almost no wet bath gets, daylight and real airflow the moment you crack it open. An electric towel rail keeps a towel warm and dry. The faucet pulls out and doubles as the shower head, so one fitting does both jobs. Open the cabinet underneath and the plumbing is all reachable, which is the difference between a 10-minute fix and a ruined weekend. The whole module is built waterproof as one shell. Nothing in here is luxurious. It is simply a bathroom you can use every single day. Out to the galley, a stainless sink with a chrome mixer and a dish rack, small things you touch 3 times a day. Above it, a proper microwave oven built into the cabinetry, deep enough for a full dish rather than a mug of water. A drawer underneath takes the cutlery and the tools. The faucet is solid on its base, not the wobbly plastic of a cheap conversion. And the lockers above are on metal shelving so they carry tins and bottles rather than bending under them. And they are deep enough that a week of dry goods disappears in one go. Here is what makes all of that possible. This is the control panel, tank levels, battery state, every circuit labeled and switched. Behind the wall sit 1,980 watts of solar, 600 amp hours at 24 volts, and a 6 kilowatt inverter. That is a small apartment's worth of power. It is why there are ordinary household sockets in here and why nothing you have seen so far needs a campsite hookup. Even the entry door gets its own fly screen. And then there is this, a washing machine. Under the counter in a truck, 18 pounds of laundry still in its factory wrapping. No hookup, no generator. At the solar and that battery bank run it while you are parked in a field. Cooking is induction, which is the right call. No gas bottle to refill, no flame inside a sealed box, nothing to leak while you sleep. The cooktop sits flush in the counter so it wipes clean in one pass and turns back into counter space the moment dinner is done. Above it, a side venting range hood pulls the steam straight out through the wall instead of round the cabin. There is a window right at the work area, and the shade rolls up to give you the campsite while you do the dishes. A smoke detector comes as standard. Open the locker above the counter and the solar controller is hiding in here, wired straight to the roof. The water side matches it. 95 gallons of fresh water, 30 of gray, and a water heater so the shower runs hot with no hookup. Now the appliance that tells you what this build is really about. That is a household fridge, not a 12-volt camping box, an actual domestic unit. Open it and the shelves are full height, so a week of food goes in without repacking a thing. A digital display on top sets the exact temperature. The door swallows bottles standing upright. Below, clear drawers for vegetables, and more bins under those. In most campers, a fridge like this is impossible because it eats power all night and there's nothing to feed it. Here it simply runs off the battery bank, and by lunchtime the solar has put all of it back. Look up. There is a bed hanging above the lounge, padded on a solid wooden frame and wide enough for 2. It comes down over the seats at night and disappears again in the morning, so the floor plan never has to compromise. This is where you actually spend the day, a wooden table, beige leather seats, and seat belts, because these are travel seats rather than furniture. The table rises and drops on an electric mechanism, so it gets out of the way at the touch of a switch. Sockets and a control panel sit right under the window with more USB points on the pillar beside it. The insect screens are built into the frames. Behind these wooden slats is the air conditioning, say 1.5 horsepower higher split system, the same thing you have at home, heating as well as cooling. The slats spread the air instead of dropping it down your neck. For the cold, there is a 5 kilowatt diesel heater in the plateau version, and the walls are a full 3 inches thick, so neither of them is fighting the weather outside. The furniture board is E0 grade, which is what keeps a sealed cabin from smelling of glue. At the back, under the softest light in the vehicle, is a permanent double bed, lengthways, made up and ready. That is the point of a body this long. You never convert anything to go to sleep, and nobody has to climb over anybody. There are closets back here too, plus cabinets above the pillows for the things you want within reach at night. From here, the whole layout reads in one line: bed, then the galley with the washer and the cooktop, then the lounge, then the door. Everything is 4 steps away. The window over the counter keeps the working end bright and vented while you cook. The floor is RV vinyl throughout, so wet boots and spilt coffee are a mop, not a repair. And with the drop-down bed hanging above the seats, 4 people sleep in here without a single cushion being moved. Here is how it comes down. The bed is electric. Hold the switch and it lowers itself over the lounge, slowly and level, with the mattress already on it. No ladder to wrestle with, no straps to unclip, nothing to store afterwards. It stops at head height as a full double, and the seats underneath stay exactly where they were. That is the whole trick of a drop-down. Sleeping space stacked on top of living space, so neither one has to give anything up. Send it back up and the lounge is a lounge again. The ceiling lights sit flush in the panels, the table returns to dining height, and the counter along the side keeps its appliances in reach. So what is all of this built on? A Sinotruk HOWO 2-wheel drive chassis with a 4.5-liter diesel making 240 horsepower and 630 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 10-speed automatic. 80 gallons of fuel. It is a truck and it drives like one. The steps are aluminum, 4 of them, folded out by hand and solid enough for 2 people at once. And there are 4 floor plans on offer, so the layout you just walked through is only one of them. The body is custom fiberglass, insulated as a single shell on a 12-foot wheelbase and 22.5-inch truck wheels with drum brakes front and rear. A ladder up the flank gets you onto the roof and the solar. The lockers along the side are the deep pass-through kind for the chairs and hoses that never fit inside. There is an 11.5-foot awning as well, and a hatch through to the cab. Entry is by keypad onto a proper wide step. And the money runs from about 300,000 yuan for the base build to 400,000 for this one, roughly $42,000 to $56,000. That is a household worth of appliances on a truck that can genuinely carry them. Nothing here is delicate, and nothing was left out. That is the end of our tour. Thank you so much for watching Inside Luxury Campers. Subscribe for more detailed RV reviews, and tell me in the comments whether you would drive something this big.